Welcome back, guys, to another episode of In the Garage. Now, I got stuck on the topic of faith the other day. I was thinking about it and took some notes on it. And I'm not particularly religious. I don't follow any direct religion. You could accuse me of cherry-picking religions. But the fact of the matter is I kind of look at the underlying tenets of all of them, and they're basically all saying the same thing. So call it cherry picking, call it logical deduction, whatever the case may be, I don't care. But faith. Yes, I do believe in a higher power of some sort, a creator, as the natives might call it. God, Buddha, Jesus, whatever. I don't name it because it is that which is nameless. It is all encompassing. It is everything. So the idea of faith. I spoke earlier on the channel about the idea of fractals and how we are all fractals of the great creator. We are all individual sparks of the divine flame. We are pieces of the whole that contain the whole within us, and yet are all equal parts of the whole. It's kind of a weird dichotomy mind twister, but that, whatever the case may be, I believe in faith. I believe in a higher power, a higher self of, my higher self that is guiding me, your higher self that's guiding you, all of those higher selves, the sum of which are the great consciousness. So the idea of faith I was mulling over in my head, and I know faith is strongly tied with religion, and I get that, and we'll put a post-it note and set that aside as okay. That's also a tenet of spirituality. It's basically a tenet of anything where you believe in a higher power, something non-tangible outside of yourself. So I'm going to read my notes here because I suck at trying to actually remember what's written, so I'm going to read it. So what is faith to you? What does it mean? Is it a belief in a higher power of some sort? And how does it benefit your life? If you believe in God, a multitude of gods, the universe, spirit, creator, whatever it is, what is that higher power capable of? Is it all-knowing and all-powerful? Does it command its way upon your life as if you're some peasant to a mighty king? Or does it walk lockstep with you in every step of your life, guiding your way? Is it just some voice in the distance whispering guidance that you can choose to heed or not? Is there any belief in a higher entity at all? I ask not for my own knowledge, but perhaps for you to help shed some light on your own belief, on your own knowledge of what you actually believe. I bring this up for those of us with a spiritual belief. Again, religious or not, I don't care. If God created, the great creator created the world and everything and everyone in it, didn't he create you as perfect in his eyes or in her eyes? I'm going to side note that with, I know there's a certain belief in the flawed machine theory. That's sort of what medical science works off of, is that we're all a body and some are not working right. They are broken somehow, thus requiring intervention of some chemical nature, typically to repair. I am kind of the belief that everyone is born perfect. Everyone is perfect in some way, in their own way. They're all completely perfect because they were created as such. They were born as such. They came into this world as such. And if you have systems within you not operating correctly, or so-called birth defects, I think those are sort of mirrors, reflections of the soul expressing itself, because after all, the body is just the soul expressing itself. Again, my belief. Anyway, sidetrack. I believe people are perfect, and if you're feeling you're not perfect, you're either not accepting yourself as you are, or no, I think that's basically it. You're not accepting yourself as you are. The other possibility is that if you have a medical ailment, something wrong with you, something you believe that is wrong with you, it's again a reflection of your soul and where you're at right now, and it can heal by and large. I know there's a lot of studies out there. I'm getting really off track here. A lot of studies out there, like Joe Dispenza's work on healing uncurable ailments and things like that, because it's the power of the belief, and it's basically how you are expressing. So if you believe and express yourself as being whole, healed, and completely okay, then you start to reflect as such. Now, is that to say that you can cure anything and you can grow your arm back that's been chopped off? Probably not. I get that. There's some arguments, and I'm just saying there's some interesting stuff out there. Okay, end of sidetrack. Back to original purpose. So to me, faith is a belief that I am guided and loved by the Creator. That which has happened has been for the distinct purpose in the ultimate betterment of myself. That can be a hard one to grasp, especially considering those that have been through hell. And, whatever types of abuse, whatever terrible situations have befallen an individual, this is back to, is life happening to you, or is life happening for you? Again, back on track. Whatever has happened has been for the distinct purpose and the ultimate betterment of myself. Furthermore, if the fingerprints of Creator exist throughout creation and everything in it, that a God holds the hand of every person, animal, and thing in the creation, one cannot elicit harm upon those that are with God or of Creator. So as such, there is no room for fear of any kind if you have faith in such a higher, well-meaning entity. Faith means everything goes into the faith bucket and nothing goes into the fear bucket. Faith is the opposite of fear. So if you believe in a divine guided entity, then everything that happens is at the helm of that entity. Now, I don't believe that entity is, personally, I don't believe that entity is outside of myself. I believe I am a contributing individual, a contributing, factor. I am a contributor to the grand design. I am part of the architect of everything that happens. I am not a victim of an architect outside of me. I am a player in the game. So, as such, anything that happens in my life, if I am afraid, if I am acting fearful, I am not acting from my true self, my higher self, my divine self. I'm not acting in faith. Fear is the opposite of faith, because if you have full faith in, like I said, in a Creator, they have your best interests at heart. They are out to make you the best person that you can be. Then anything that happens is for that purpose. So you thereby cannot be fearful of anything that happens. That being said, if I have somebody pointing a gun to my head, I'm probably going to be a bit fearful. If I just got shoved off a cliff, well, I'm probably going to be a bit fearful and, ask a lot of other questions right before I to the ground. But that's beside the point. Yeah, there are cases, and this is not an easy thing to not be afraid. Fear is what has governed us as a society for millennia. And we need to just kind of acknowledge those times when we're afraid and be like, am I acting in faith or am I acting in fear? Am I choosing in faith or am I choosing in fear? And I have to use the word faith in this case because it is a reliance upon a higher guided power that in my belief system is partly of me. I am in cahoots with. Yeah, the fear. How do you deal with it? I can't really say other than bring conscious awareness to it. Be aware of when you are feeling fearful. Try to be aware of how it feels in your body so you know when you are fearful. And I'm not saying don't feel it, because you can't always control how you feel. It is typically your body, your nervous system telling you, hey, caution here. It's doing something to try to keep you alive. But acknowledge when you're in fear, and you can choose consciously from that point once you acknowledge that. Anyway, sorry for the little bit of tripping over the words, verbiage, whatnot issues that I am so often at fault for. But I thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time in the garage.